She's an actual shot.
And
And
then
Olean is
coming back
when
from
you're only getting 2 or
Florida.
3 shots in a series.
Really?
No, I would want to be, I'm a pitcher, I'm feeding it to him, I want to be the one,
Forgot.
need to be part of history, whatever.
Lee, can you hear us?
Out too as well.
I was hoping to resolve that this month.
Okay,
I don't want to leave the country.
no, I
Hey,
got
Lee, can you hear us?
I hear you.
So I've started to put together a document. I have
Yeah, maybe not laying it out.
Report chart and everything.
Like, pick for
You
your.
know, we really talked it through with Jenny and I think
Major
what
league
we're
pitcher.
proposing
Yeah.
makes the most
2
sense.
games ago,
Okay.
someone hit him on a
Still
slider
has
like
some
102
issues
miles
with
per
it.
hour and he narrowly missed it.
I
It's
think
a beautiful throw.
in
One thing I
whatever
was really like
situation.
this after he
this
threw it,
is
I was
the
like,
best way to get.
you want to make sure he can
Roll,
get it.
Get them up and running.
It's impressive, man, but I just don't think he's gonna get it because he's not getting his opportunities.
It's not
You
the
can imagine
ideal
He's
scenario.
only getting, like I said, a couple shots a series.
Nothing's married.
I mean, he would have had.
And
it.
then
It's
there's
not
Like the walk.
They can always look to.
He's- I know, like, it's not, he's gonna have to start going after those balls that are not in his zone.
Yeah.
You can't get our guys either when you walk all the time. That's awesome. He does, yeah, he gets runs.
No pitcher wants to be a
Not at
pitcher
all.
that
No, not at
set
all.
the.
But at what point is it your pride where you're like, man, I don't want to be the guy that does 62 all, but you're gonna walk every time you're not that
I
confident.
feed him a 60-mile-an-hour slider.
The
Here you go.
solution is the
Okay,
solution.
now it's out of your system.
And
We'll
that
get back to the game.
way-
That's actually a decent one. Yeah. All right.
I told them about this. It's month to month, not like. You know. Get started.
There's a conflict.
I
You
know
need them,
that
Mr.
he's, I
Lee?
know he's on his way, but I think we should go
Yeah, we're
get
getting.
started, right?
Yeah, we should.
Where it's past that, so. I'm gonna call this meeting to order. I'd like us all to take a moment, I know I'm going to take my moment, for a silent prayer or a moment of personal reflection. Ira, would you lead us in the pledge of allegiance?
I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I am going to entertain a motion to approve the agenda, but we're going to, I think we're going to need to amend the agenda so that it includes the voting and the election of the president and vice president, okay? So when you make that motion, I just want to make sure you're okay with amending the approved or the agenda so that it reads that. So whoever would like to make that motion, I would entertain that motion.
So moved. Whatever.
Okay, I'm gonna take Ira because I was looking at him and I saw his hand go up there.
Please,
And
yeah,
So I'm gonna take Ira as the motion and then who would like to second it?
what we did.
Lee, okay, Lee, we'll get you on there as the second. Is there any discussion on this? Okay, seeing none, I will call for the vote. All those in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so that motion is carried. So, oh, I guess I've got it over here. I forgot to put my thing. Yeah. So would we do that right now, Vicky? We would do the,
We normally do.
yes. So so I will put it out there for the motion of the tell us, Vicki, what is it? We've got,
The motion of the president.
okay. We'll go with that one first. How's that sound?
I'll second
If she's
that.
okay.
Thank you, Julio. I am.
I'll second that. You've already explained mental well, communication's been great.
Okay, I appreciate that. Thank you. And I had some stuff going on with my mom, but I'm getting her settled now too, so it helped me out a little bit, that's for sure. So, so
Are you okay with?
I am. Yep, I think we've been
I think it would be great.
handling things and getting things done like we're supposed to. So absolutely.
There's
Absolutely.
usually some discussion.
Yeah. Oh, I'm going to. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, that's what I'm just
I
gonna say.
mean, outside here, I mean, there's usually somebody that, are you interested
Oh.
or that kind of stuff.
Oh, okay.
Because you don't just go around assuming, but, you know.
No, so, yeah, so we have the motion made by Julio, seconded by Dan. Is there any discussion? I will, let's. Because we kind of already had a little discussion, but let's,
I just think it benefits us. You have experience. It's good for continuity right now. Just makes sense. So put that out there.
everybody,
These have been short and great.
yeah,
Definitely, yeah.
we're gonna
Sure.
continue with that, that's for sure. We're
Productive.
finally, yes, they're productive, but efficient,
There
right?
you go.
That's it,
Yeah.
yes, yes.
They were averaging 4 or 5 hours at one time.
Don't
We've
don't
gotten
jinx
better.
us, don't jinx
We've
us,
gotten
Jim. Yeah,
We got better.
do not speak that. Doing our best here, that's for sure, so, okay, all right,
All in favor?
all in favor? Any opposed, any abstentions? Well, that motion is carried. Thank you very much, I appreciate the vote of confidence. Thank you.
Your oath of office.
Yes, I can. So I, Mary Hershina, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of Board of Education President according to the best of my ability. So today is October 4th. There you go. So anything else, just that? That's it. All right, awesome. Okay, then I will move on to the second piece of business that we have. We need a motion for the vice president.
I would nominate Ira if he is interested in the position.
Am I supposed to say that I do or I will?
Is that what you're looking for, Jim? Is for?
Yeah.
Okay. So Jim and Julio. Is there any discussion?
Go ahead.
I was I was thinking, I'm just gonna throw this out there. If he's interested, I would actually like to nominate Julio.
Second Ira.
I was thinking of both. You'll take it. No, no.
I'm not gonna say no if you guys are gonna nominate.
Then can I withdraw? Respectfully?
You can.
Okay.
Would you like,
Yeah.
you okay with that, Ira?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you? That's.
I like working with you.
I didn't mean to cause a stir. I just figured we're nominating people.
Well, we usually have discussions and stuff like that, but we don't. Having that out there. Aha. Congratulations, Mr. Vice President.
All right. Works, I suppose.
Actually, Lee and Dan have nominated Julio as vice president. And he has said that he would. And you would still be on the executive committee as the past president.
Okay, would the opportunity to fill every available seat on the executive committee, like I said, Ira would have done it as well, but Andrew was president last time. Get some, fresh face in there, some different perspective. Julio's leading one of the committees and doing a great job, and I've been here for a little bit now. We took it up.
Follow the question?
Is there any other discussion? Is that good? Then all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? That motion is carried. Congratulations, Julio.
Swear in.
Could you raise your right hand?
I don't know if I can read it though.
Okay.
I'm just.
That's a
All
qualification.
right.
I, Julio Fuentes, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of the office of the Board of Education Vice President according to the best of my ability.
Mary, you're gonna get a shorter desk because we're gonna move that one over there now.
Okay, I'll move wherever everybody wants me to. That's fine.
Sorry. it's taking so long.
No, take your time, you're good. I didn't fill all that stuff out, did I? It's okay, I can do it. That's why Julio's filling out more information than I did. That's why.
Way to go, Julio.
Right.
Congratulations, Julio. Well, we're so very glad to have you on board with me, that's for sure, so. So now that we have got that, Vicky, is there anything else additional that you need from us on
I
that?
don't need anything else from.
Okay, that's great, then, I need a motion for us to move into executive session? Or do we not need to go into executive session?
I thought we were going to have a discussion.
Okay, then we do
about
that in, right now in open,
Open session. Because you're not,
'Cause
you're
we're
not
not-
discussing a particular
no,
person.
we're not, no, I don't think we will be.
So we'll add discussion item to the
Yes,
agenda.
yes, so, Ira and Lee, are you okay with us adding that onto the agenda? Okay, good, thank you.
Sounds good to me.
Okay,
What's our discussion item?
we want to discuss,
Board vacancy.
Yeah.
yes, the board vacancy.
Oh, yeah. Outside of that, do we want to also discuss public comment?
In what light were you thinking? Just,
Where we want to go with it? I know it's
Okay.
discretionary, but I mean.
Oh, thanks. I mean,
so we can have two discussion items? I'm okay with
That's
that.
fine.
That's fine. Board vacancy and the public comment. I know that Jim and I have spoke about it, so, and so is Dr. Morris and myself, so we'll, yeah, that's fine. Sounds good. All right,
Board vacancies.
okay. So as I have mostly spoke to most of you on the phone when I was calling everybody, so there's a couple different options, okay? First, we don't fill the position and we stay with 8 board members. That's an option. I'm just giving you the options, okay? The second option is that we appoint someone. And I do have the list of the votes that came through from our last election, okay? So we can, refer to that. We appoint someone. Or we do what we have done the last several times, where we actually advertise for the position, ask for applicants. We usually do an interview process, with the applicants. And then we decide from that who we'd like to fill the position,
And then they would only fill the position until the May.
only until May, yes. Yes. It could run again, I mean, it could run, I mean, for the seats, we have Andrew, whose term expires this year, and Jim's position as well. And then, of course,
So there'd be 3 spots.
Paul.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah.
There would be 3 spots. How many more years would be left on that position?
Says term expires 2024. So it'd be 2
It
years.
was a 2-year shot.
Mhm. Yep. So then it would be just until 2024, it would just be that 1 year then, right? Oh, no, wouldn't be.
23 and 24.
No,
No.
it would be 2 years.
So what would happen if the board decides that they're going to go with the option of the questionnaire,
Mhm.
bringing candidates, you appoint a candidate, then that person would serve until the May election.
Okay,
And then there will be 2 additional vacancies, Andrew and Jim. Whoever whoever gets the lowest votes would fill that position,
which one?
For like,
the 2024.
so it'd only be like 13 months.
Be about 13 months.
Correct.
Okay, all right,
Right,
yeah,
so-
okay, that's,
so-
I was right then. Okay.
Third vote getter.
Right.
Okay. Yes, Ira.
I just need to clarify that leaving it vacant, in my opinion, is not a viable option. For 2 reasons. A, I like control. So I'd like to have us appoint someone and follow the process that we have in the past. But more importantly, but our bylaws and policy indicates that if not so filled, if the vacancy is not so filled, the district superintendent of the supervisory district, or Scott Payne and BOCES, may appoint a competent person to fill the vacancy until the next election. And I don't think we want Scott Payne to appoint who's on this board.
That would be
necessarily.
optional, correct?
Yeah, that's
It
optional.
may,
We would
he
have to
may or
go
may
through
not,
the
but if we-
election process and not select someone, then he could.
If we keep the position vacant, he may or he
No.
may not. I mean, that's the other side of that
So
logic.
are we
Appoint
pretty
someone,
much
so
all on board that we don't want to keep the position vacant? We've got a good portion of the year left. It'd be one thing if it's a month, like, you know, if this was April or something like that. But we've got like 3/4 of the year that's left. So is there anyone here that does not agree with the fact that we should fill the vacancy? So then it just comes down to how we want to do that. Is there anyone here? Jim, you've got something on that?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still 50-50, doesn't matter what I wanted, because I still got 8 months to go. But the thing about it is, and I've said it before, unless we are a divided board, which we're not, 8 is fine. The reason why they're all go into it. I mean, in the past, we've appointed somebody, didn't get elected, so you kind of waste all that time. Kelly was an exception. We appointed her, she got elected. And then
Well,
we
we
got,
didn't appoint Kelly. She actually applied and we
She applied.
interviewed.
yeah,
Yeah, we interviewed her
yeah.
and then we
appointed
chose.
And we appointed her.
Yeah. Yeah, but we went through a process. We didn't just appoint
No, it
somebody.
doesn't matter what the process
Okay.
is, she got appointed. And then we had Ty, and obviously he was somewhat overwhelmed. And I would just remind our board, you know, we had a board member that quit before for reasons. And it was another board member that was, but chose not to. So the idea is why I'm bringing this to everybody's attention. There's a lot on the district's plate right now. And if you think about it, it's gonna take 3 to 6 weeks if we want to, I mean, if we can appoint a former board member, and that would be great, because then you won't have to worry about anything. But if you want to go through the process, I mean, once we do that and the time goes by, and then you've got Christmas coming up, and then you have another 5 months, Now, we would be grooming somebody, or hopefully they're not gonna back out, and they're gonna actually wanna be on the board. I mean, it's not like it was like 10 years ago. This is current, and we've got a lot on our plate. And the thing about it is, I don't wanna see anybody else overwhelmed with district stuff. Because once you bring them in, there's gonna be one heck of an executive session. And we've already seen what happened last time. So I'm just cautious, if you will.
This board has appointed many others in addition to those you mentioned.
Yeah.
For example, Mike Martell
Oh, yeah.
was appointed. Several others. Mike served, what, 15 years?
At least,
Yeah, so.
but wouldn't you have to have an odd number so that you don't have an even vote 4-4?
Yeah, there's the rule of 5, as I've often called it, where it takes 5 to carry most every motion. So
If we were a divided
4
board,
it doesn't work.
I don't think we're a divided board. That's my opinion. But if people feel as though we need to fill that spot, so be it.
I'm thinking the meeting this evening, admittedly, I know it's new to this, but I had the same feeling that you had. I feel like we've had cohesion for the most part. The meetings progressed competently, efficiently. I think the absence of us, we were well represented, and we still haven't disagreed on much. So I was okay. I was gonna move to leave it open. That's where I was at with it too.
I just don't want to see anybody get overwhelmed with everything and then have them back out. Because I don't want to see a disservice done to one of our own community members.
I got you, Lee.
If we do go down that road, I would say appoint a former board member if there's one interested.
Julia,
So-
I'm gonna, and I'll grab you right after that, okay? Go ahead, Lee.
So my question would be, how long is this process? Because for me, a big part of it, how much of our attention is this going to take, whichever we choose? So sort of saying we have about what, like 5 months left in the term for this position. So is it worth our time to fill it in for those 5 months? Or is it a better and more efficient use of the board's time to just say, we're going to function with 8 and then move on from there? So for me, it's more of like a time efficiency question.
So, and please correct me if I'm wrong. So we can just appoint someone and not go through the whole process of it. If we do something like that, then we could appoint someone this, like soon.
It's next week.
Yeah, I mean, we could, if you want to know that. If we go through the process, which we have done in the past, then you're probably looking at about a month. Yeah,
That's not too bad.
maybe a month and a half, just depending on when we can all get together. And depending on how many people were interested in, and that kind of thing. So could be a week or two, could be maybe 4 to 6 weeks, but then that person would still have over 6 months to serve, which is a half a year
Right.
on the board. So just
If-
point that out.
If that's the case, then I'm just going to throw out there that I prefer the option of interviewing people and bringing them in and then because ultimately we want someone who's going to work as efficiently as possible with the board for that span of time. And it might actually save us more time and trouble to go through that process.
I would just say, we can't talk about transparency and then turn around and lickety-split appoint someone.
Agreed.
based on a conversation I might have with somebody, or you might have, or somebody might have, that just doesn't smell right to me.
Unless it was somebody
Process.
that was close on that list, maybe.
No,
I'm not even considering that, let's
Yeah.
be honest with you.
we opened it right up.
Start
like
all
that.
over.
Or get on the bad hotline and see if there's a former board member that's interested. Simple temporary solution if not, then
Yeah, if it's that case, then I would say we just go through the process.
I was gonna say immediate appointment was like the least favorable option for me.
I'd rather-
What's that?
That was the least favorable option for me. I like-
The immediate
like
appointment?
appointing,
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
rather go through the process too, if we're not gonna just leave it open.
I still think that would be a consideration, to just not fill it. I mean, do we have confidence in each other or not? And do we want to fill it and put?
You know, we can still follow the process and not fill it.
That's true too. If we don't like the candidates, then we should discuss. You know, we're still aware after the process, we don't end up finding someone, right?
Yeah, I'm in favor of going through the process and get somebody in here. I mean, there's, you know, we've got 4 committees now, and we should have representation on all of them, you know, a couple of board members.
We're about to start the strategic plan work. We need more representation on
That's
that.
right. More voices, the better for that, I think.
Like I said, I don't want to groom somebody for a short period of time and then have not interested in running or actually not getting elected.
Well, I think
Who's to say they don't run again?
You
I
know
was
what
gonna
they're
say, assuming that it goes well, they're probably running that.
You know what they're doing.
No, they don't.
I mean, they-
Well, we've got
they're
some
gonna interview for the
people that have a pretty good idea
I think,
in the community.
yeah, but we've had one
That's
particular
one of the
person that's run a
questions.
couple of years, couple times now. So pretty sure they know, come to meetings and they see what's going on, so, you know. I agree that the former person maybe didn't have quite as clear of an understanding, but who would have with all that going on, so, you know, I think that was a lot to ask of anybody, but, I mean,
So what's the consensus? We'll leave it blank or do the interview process?
Sounds like we're leaning interview.
Yeah, I'm thinking interview.
Interview.
So get out an ad.
yeah, I think Kelly
Tomorrow.
said she was interested in the interview process
Yeah,
as well,
that's
so.
what she said.
Are we able to tag it on to the November 4th election? Just tag it right onto that.
No.
You can't do that. I was on that's someone on the election board is asking.
No, because the general election is
Mhm.
completely separate from the
Right, okay.
school
Can we do it?
election.
Okay, it would be sooner. Okay.
And if by chance the board decided that they wanted to hold an open election now, I can guarantee you that the Board of Elections is not going to allow us to use their machines.
Okay.
If that, because that is another option that,
Yeah,
that's not gonna happen.
yeah, so we just do what we've done the last couple times.
Because the county makes it very clear to
Yeah,
us.
I know. Like I missed
And
your
the wonderful people to the Cattaraugus County Board of Elections, they are absolutely wonderful. And I don't think we could hold
Yeah,
our school board elections without their assistance.
I would never want to do that for a short period of time anyway.
Yeah, well, I think let's go through the process and see what it yields. And we can,
Anybody that's
and
interested
we
will
can just,
show up.
yes, and then we can decide. So Vicky's aware, she's put a couple times now, what the next step is for us, and I say we hop on it as quickly as possible.
Yeah.
So what's
Let's
the goal,
get the-
by the second week of November, maybe?
I think
Third?
the November board meeting is the 8th, if I remember correctly.
Well, today is what?
Or
Today's the 4th,
Can we do it?
so
next
how
week
much,
then?
how much time do we normally
Well,
give people to give put their
if
applications in?
something goes out, can Melissa Fidel help us with something, getting, So,
Something tomorrow.
yeah. I mean, if we still have the questions, I'm assuming you want to use the same
Yeah.
questions that we've used
Yeah,
in the
let's not reinvent
past.
the wheel.
And then, they can submit that. You need to come up with a deadline of when you
Yeah,
would like.
when would we want the deadline to be?
So if we could get something out tomorrow, I'm thinking 10 days, maybe.
Would you need more than that?
Put it on the website.
You
Letter
don't
of
have to get
interest
signatures or
back by the
anything.
15th or something. And then
Yeah, that would.
maybe we can do an interview.
By
And have
October.
a special meeting to do the
Have a special
interview.
yeah.
meeting?
Then
Yeah.
approve it in November.
Sorry, Andrew.
So
what
we
was
can't
that?
fast track this.
October 15th?
I mean, I don't know what they.
When are you-
No, I was about to say, that's not 10 days. 10 days would be the 8th.
Okay,
If you, that would be next Friday, and that would be 10 days from today. So 10 days from tomorrow will be the 19th, which is a Saturday.
10 days. Oh,
So
you're
let's
not
see.
10 days.
No, you're using business days. Okay.
Using business days, okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Okay,
so
I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
was really.
Can we just say that the deadline
sorry.
is whatever
The
day?
21st.
Let, should we say, I
Let-
don't know,
no, let's see,
Friday?
let's see, how about,
Business day.
how about like the 18th? If it goes out tomorrow, that'd give us almost,
18th is a Tuesday.
is that okay? Is there a problem with it being a Tuesday? Did we get it back?
Why
Well,
would
then
you
if
run-
that's the case, you could possibly appoint somebody.
When's our October meeting? I know we've got
The
one on
25th.
the 25th. We could maybe.
We have an October,
We have one the 11th and one the 25th.
no, we'll never get interviews in, well.
We
unless-
might.
But you know, November 8th is a realistic
It is.
date to
Nope.
appoint, so that would give you a month.
That would give us a month.
Okay, so letters of interest by the 18th, and then we'll try to do interviews maybe the 25th or something.
Yeah, because don't forget, some of us will be gone for the NISBA. And
And
that's towards the end of the week, I know, so.
so the October 25th board meeting will be held at Owens. You have the board building tour at 6,
Okay.
board meeting. And then again, you guys go to NISBA, those of you that are going to NISBA.
So we definitely could either meet in there or meet in here, right?
Right,
Or
our board
somewhere-
meeting's not till the 8th, so.
Yeah, it's
even
not
if
till
we
the
went
8th,
Till the
so-
1st. just
Yeah.
the
So
second,
you
yeah.
could schedule a
We could-
special board.
We could
meeting.
schedule something between the October 31st and November 4th, that week in there where we don't have a board meeting.
And this starts the 1 week. where we don't have-
Just pointing that out.
Yeah.
But we could do that and then have somebody
By the
appointed by November 8th,
Okay,
which would be pretty
we got a game plan.
Yeah,
good.
I think that sounds good.
It's probably best.
Okay.
Okay. So I, if we're good, so Vicky, you got all those dates?
I
do you?
do.
Okay. Is there anything else? Does anybody else have any other? Oh, we want to talk about, Jim brought up the public comments. Go ahead, Jim. We'll let you
All
lead
right.
us off.
Every now and then we go through this and tweak it, this, that, and the other thing. Well, in the last probably 2-3 years, our public comment has gotten more political. There's a lot of people that gotta say stuff, which is great. I am always willing to listen. But it's more like I'm gonna go to the city building and then come down here. And it's more activism than it is than anything else. And I just look at how long these public comments have gone, which I'm not against. The idea of the board following the policy to the letter, we had issues with that before. And now we got, I think people are a little bit unknowledgeable as to what we're supposed to listen to. And, you know, lately we're listening to parents that their kid didn't make the cut. And in our last meeting, we had one individual, which I do respect, but was completely off base about our fire alarm system that was off, which could have been from, because I'm looking at Miss Jenny last time, and where did that come from? So if people are intentionally coming to our public comment and speaking untruths or not verifying their information or, I mean, I'm getting tired of taking a hit as a district. And we either go back to the letter or policy, which Wednesday, or just say, let's take a break till after the first of the year. We don't have to have public comment. Let's give everybody the holidays off. That way they can reflect on putting out accurate information if they want to come in here and cite something. Or what the real reason is to come in here and present to the Board of Education. I mean, I want to hear people speak from the heart, not come down here and just unload and guess whether or not the information is accurate. Cricket. I'm just taking a stance here because I got a lot going.
I actually respectfully have a difference of opinion with you on that one, Jim. I actually think it's great that people want to come down and make comments, and sort of give us a temperature read on the community. It tells us where people's heads are on things. And at the end of the day, yes, people are mistaken about certain things because we're privy to information in the district that not everyone is, because that's the nature of the beast. But it's good to know what their concerns are, even if they are mistaken about something. It's good to hear where their concerns lie on it. And one thing I would agree with you on is I do think we need to be a little firmer about the 3-minute time limit. That I absolutely agree with that, because as it stands, if we let that go and sort of play loose with the time limit, things can get a little out of hand. But if we keep it to 3 minutes, I think it forces people to sort of get to the point, say what they need to say. And it's actually, I think, a really important tool for us as the board to hear what the community is feeling. I'm just putting it out there.
I wholeheartedly agree to that. It's the individuals that come in here and look at this as a political spectrum. They come down, they go to the city building, which it is politics, and they come here with the same intent. And we're here for the kids. We're not here to play politics and head games. I will emphasize that again and again. And I
So,
think some of our community members have gone overboard on certain criteria. And like I said, I'm all for public comment. I just say maybe we need a break, or just go by our previous policy or our current policy. Actually, get it in by Wednesday, and that's it. 3 minutes, boom. After 15 minutes, done.
so Dr. Morris and I've already talked about that. Jimmy and I've had a conversation about that. After the last meeting, I'm just gonna flat out tell you, I'm not interested in timing people anymore. As vice president or president, that is just not a responsibility. I didn't mind doing it last year, but I can't do it this year. So yes, I was a bit frustrated at the last meeting. And yeah, just so you know, I just am at, so Dr. Morris and I have talked about doing a timer up on the screen that everybody sees. And none of us are being held responsible for the 10 seconds and, getting the evil eye and the God knows what else we're gonna get. It's right there. You know what you have. When the buzzer goes off, you sit down, you're done. That's it.
If there's anything extra.
This
to
way
say-
we adhere, I don't care. This way we adhere to the 3 minutes. We can extend, if we had a number of people who wanted to talk, we can always vote as a board to extend the 15 minutes. But 3 minutes, this is what you get. There's your timer. You see it buzzing down. When it's getting close to 10 seconds, wrap yourself up and find your seat. Also, I would really prefer to go back to our policy as it is written, that you let us know the Wednesday before. We've changed it now. It doesn't have to be something that's specifically on the agenda. But we need to know if you would like to speak and what you're going to speak about. That helps us to be more of an effective, efficient board. If I'm with Lee, I will listen to you. I like to hear you. If there's something that you feel that you need to bring to the board, I would just like to know ahead of time. And when you kind of just come here and sign up, 5 minutes before the board is, and I don't have a clue what you're going to talk about, then I feel like it's a gotcha kind of move. And I think that we all put a lot of time and energy into this board, and we all want to do a good job. And Jim is correct. We are here for the students. And so that doesn't make us an efficient or effective board when I can't even tell who was supposed to be going first and got 3 names here and I don't know what we're all talking about. Who are we all? Oh, there you are. That I think that's only fair. We have a policy. We have a policy that we literally took about 5 months last year in our operations committee to revise, to make it the best kind of policy possible. I say we just go back to following the policy at hand. You've got sign up ahead of time, let us know what it is, because if you let us know, we might actually be able to get some answers for you, and you might not even have to come to the board and talk to us. We might be able to figure it out ahead of time and get stuff handled, and that's what we're trying to do.
Well, in addition to that, if somebody does come up and sign up on a specific topic that they just want to hammer us on something, we got time to prepare a counter response.
Yeah, we won't
This is-
ever have a counter response, Jim.
No.
That's not what we do in public comment.
Well,
You know that. We don't.
I didn't
It's just-
say
We
come
can't.
combative, but the idea is people will do that. And We have a, okay.
We can't, that's not, public comment is not for us to respond back.
I
So-
agree with everything you said except for the Wednesday deadline thing. Those things happen at the last minute.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing I'm trying to
There's
avoid.
another meeting after that.
I'm trying to avoid those last minute things that happen where people come in here all hot and wound up. I want to hear from them. And if it's important enough, then guess what? They'll get on it, and at our next meeting, they can come and talk to us about it. When you're fired up and something has just happened and you've just sent out 18 messages on social media and now everybody's all wound up and you come in here and 27 of us sign up to speak, that doesn't help any of us either. You know,
Doesn't
it's,
preclude feedback according to your own policy. So in the policy, it says, whenever individuals or groups wish to bring a matter to the attention of the board, they will submit a written request to the superintendent, so they can still do that. So if whatever is prompting them to come and speak, they missed the deadline to speak that in a particular meeting, they can still put something in writing, and then they could come and speak. But the good thing is, by putting it, in writing, we can be responsive and try to address their concern if there is a concern, or at least hear what their issue is. So don't think that we would be cutting off feedback just because they missed a particular deadline.
I remember one year, or one time, we had some teachers that wanted to talk to us about something that we were doing for the seniors, and they missed that deadline, like literally by like an hour. We made the decision to allow them to speak, so we can do that. I mean, that's not, but it's those last minute, you know, like that, and then you come in and everybody writes their name down and everybody wants to speak, that I would like to try to avoid that if we can.
Mary, I think you're
Yes,
100%
please.
right. I think you're 100% right. If it's something that is important, that actually has staying power as a concern for the community, it'll sort of act as a natural filter to require them to get on the agenda and go through the process. Being able to come down and just sign up, emotions, that's not thought, that's not policy, that's feelings. So I absolutely agree with that. I think that's a great idea.
We don't want them to not, you know, talk, Julio. We want to hear from them.
That's all.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Not trying to-
you know, the public board meetings is not the only way to communicate with the Board
Sure.
of Education.
It's not.
We're accessible.
We're reasonable people, I'd like to think.
If
For the most
there's
part.
something on the- if they see the agenda and they see something on it that they want to express a concern, absolutely email right away, you know?
Yeah.
And
We're definitely.
just share your
reasonable on that.
concerns.
But
We'll take them under consideration.
go back to the policy as it's written. We spent a lot of time writing that policy.
So what will happen when somebody calls and wants to be placed on the agenda to speak and refuses to give the topic?
That's not part of our policy. They have to do the topic.
It is. We would like to, we need to know. So if you want to talk
So
to
we
us,
cannot add you to the
you
agenda.
can't. So. you-
There's your
I mean,
verbiage.
I mean,
We cannot add you to the
And
agenda.
I think that's,
without-
I think
without
that's
the
a,
Whether it's a phone call or an email.
right.
You know, I'd
Sometimes
like
I
to-
know they
and-
don't. They don't like to, you know, to let us know.
And the
But
more detail you can give me now.
yeah, the
Well,
better,
it
the
is
better
on the
it
agenda.
Yeah,
will be.
Exactly.
Oh, and no pivoting. Coming on one thing and then, okay, now I'm gonna talk about speed. No pivot.
We're just like, just get up and talk about like everything and anything of this.
I just want to say, I've taken a fair amount of comments about going into executive session right off the bat and ticking off people who come. And to the extent that we can avoid that and be sort of a little more regular about public comment, I think that would be appreciated. And, you know, 15 minutes and 3 minutes per speaker is like 5 people. That's not a whole heck of a lot. So we may be making exceptions, allowing a longer time frame. And to me, there's nothing magical about 3 minutes. Yes, that's the policy. But can you say it in 2? And can we hear more speakers?
Sure.
We
Or if you're all
may
saying
need
the
to
same thing,
change
maybe you just appoint
the
one
policy.
person to
Right.
say
Speak
what
for the
it,
group.
to say what it is. I mean, I can't stress enough that, you know, public comment No, we may not, and they may not believe it or think it is a privilege to come, and it's not required. But we do think it's important that we hear from the public and that we, when they have concerns, they know they can come and talk to the board about them. We're just asking for some common courtesy to let us know, who you are and what you'd like to speak to us about. So that we're just not caught off guard. I think that's, I don't think that's fair to anyone. It's not a good way to do that. But I will tell you, Ira, that Dr. Morris and I have discussed moving our executive session to the beginning of the meeting. Because oftentimes what we're seeing is we're voting on something and people want board members. Oftentimes why we go into executive session in the beginning is because board members have requested that. So I don't just arbitrarily decide that we're
I
going to
know,
do that.
I'm
Yeah,
just
but
sharing
but yeah, and I agree with you.
perspective.
So we've actually entertained the idea of maybe doing our executive session at the beginning. And that way, if there is anything, if there's a question that somebody has prior to us voting on it later on in the agenda, we can address it and we can talk about it. So just stay tuned on that. We haven't made our final decision on that, but the last several times that we've had to go into executive session, I didn't really see a way around not doing it at the beginning. And I, apologize to people that
There's
were
a time for it. I'm just
that
saying
were
as a matter of
upset,
course,
because we did, and we have fielded messages from people
my recommendation.
that are, that are concerned, and we go in and they're waiting, and it's not fair to anybody, but that may be something that we end up doing.
Well, there is another option. If we have start our meeting at 6, put it out ahead of time. And then go into executive session at 6 instead of 6:30. So everybody gets there. We got to go into an executive session. Everybody's got a book for however long we're there. From 6 to 6:30, we can knock that off. Maybe.
And you put a time constraint on your executive session.
You
Yeah.
put it-
Well, you don't have to.
Hey,
No, you don't really have to.
And sometimes 6:30 is hard enough to make, let alone 6. That can be a
And what
challenge if
we've
you're
tried
working.
To do as well, to echo this, is we've tried to schedule or at least go into executive session after the speaker. So we're trying to respect people who have come and they're here to speak. We want to make sure they have their opportunity so that they are not hanging around. However, some of the complaints that we've heard are that people also want to observe the business. Well, part of our business is to go into executive session, and sometimes we need to do that before we go into the business of the actual meeting that they can observe. So that's unavoidable. I mean, in many cases, we have to do business that requires
For
us to
discussion.
go, yeah,
And before the vote.
Yes.
Goes hand in hand.
yeah. So we try to accommodate the public. If you make the time to come here, you're approved to speak, etc. We're trying to arrange around that and do that as efficiently as possible. And then we have to do the business of the meeting.
And some of it was just unavoidable with,
Right.
obviously with the officer's position. It just was. I think I needed to talk to you. So I needed to talk to you ahead of time. So
So the bottom line is timer by Wednesday, or other than that approved, and then we're good. So,
we're
okay.
we're
Do we
definitely,
need to
more-
vote to
No
vote
more
on it?
sign up.
no
the
more
night of the-
signups the
With the
night
warrant.
of the meeting.
Yeah.
Do we have
Tomorrow.
do we have to have a vote on that,
On what?
to go back to that?
I don't think so.
previous?
It was just, we just did that. That was never written into our policy to do that. So we're just going to cease that. Go back to the policy that we actually do have on the books.
That should probably be communicated.
It should be.
because-
Yeah, I agree. I'm just gonna say that. So that's probably something that we need to get out on the website. That explains that, that we will be following our policy. That's in our policy book under public comment, if public expression at the meetings. And if anybody has a question on that, that they can certainly contact us. We'll be more than happy to explain it to them.
But I had this discussion 4 years ago.
Oh.
No, before COVID and everything else and our.
Oh, yeah.
and whatever.
Oh, okay, I don't think there's, I think we've hit everything that we've needed to hit. I don't,
Motion to adjourn.
thank you, Jim. Do I have a second?
I'll say.
Thank you, Dan.
Sure you don't want to say it?
No discussion according to Andrew.
No discussion.
It's how it goes. So all those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, this is, we're done and it's 7:22. We got. Good enough.
Okay.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Julio.
Nice.
Have a good night, guys.
Yeah.
Good night.
Good chat, good chat.